I'm Jan Cousteau, and I just want to share with you some of the joy and wonder that I felt while visiting the Galapagos Islands this last September. I was fortunate enough to travel with my daughter Alexandra, who is a National Geographic Young Emerging Explorer of the class of 2008. And as she was part of this voyage, Mom got to go along. And it reminded me of the fact that some years ago, before the death of my husband, Philippe, we had planned on taking the children with us when we went to do an expedition in Galapagos for the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau. But unfortunately that never came about, so to finally realize that pleasure of being able to go to see this wonderful place. And I think there were many things that I found so really inspiring about the Galapagos. The space of these and the importance of these 6 little islands that harbor this wealth of friendly animals that go about their business, with so many people that travel through these islands to see and I guess to feel this sort of wonder that's there. We saw sea lion mothers who had just given birth the night before, and their little guys, their little babies, and they'd be talking to one another, and they'd be touching muzzles to kind of acquaint themselves. And blue-footed boobies with their beautiful turquoise feet doing their little mating dance where everything pops up into the air, the head, the tail, and he really shows off in a wonderful way to his intended mate. And further down the road we'd have a nest that's just kind of parked there with a few rocks where the booby laid her eggs, and her hatchlings would then peek their little white fuzzy heads out from underneath her. And we always had to walk around them. Nobody moved, and then the marine iguanas, one piled on top of another, gathering the warmth of the sun after having had to spend about 30 to 40 minutes in the sea taking the algae off the rocks, which was where they had to eat. Of course, not a good place to have to go in the ocean that was cold for these reptilian creatures. And so they would come back onto the land on the black lava flow, lie there one next to the other for the whole day to gather the warmth before they had once more to go in for the last meal of the day. And it looked like, it was as if we went back in time to see these iguanas with their spiky backs and their sort of funny faces. It was like looking maybe at what a dinosaur might have looked like 65 million years ago. Of course, a much smaller version. We had frigate birds and their babies. There were, and the most amazing thing was to see the variety of little birds that would just hop around our feet. The Flightless Cormorant. Now, my question is this. How did he get there? It's 600 miles from land. How did the Flightless Cormorant get there? Was he a flying cormorant when he arrived and found he didn't really need his wings? He was going to stick it out on these islands. And over a long, long time, the wings became unimportant. I don't know that they know that. It's sort of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did he flow over there on some flotsam and jetsam? Who knows? But there were unusual animals to see, and then this beauty that nature has created out of these rocks. It was like a sculpture like none other, of various shades of red to gold to black. The newer islands had much more lava flows that were very beautiful in their black, with holes and in the rocks and archways. And they were the islands that were further west in this island chain. And they were islands that were still sitting over the hot spot, which was the volcanic action that created these islands. And they were all moving slightly eastward, meaning they were moving towards the main continent. And once they got off of the top of the hot spot, they began to disintegrate. You know, over 1 million years in geological times is not very long. But it was beautiful. And then to go snorkeling, where we had sea lions that would come and look in your mask, or swim alongside of you, or turn over and come back up and look at you from sticking their heads out. I had a sea turtle that swam with me, and I was swimming along the shore, And she stayed, I assume it was a girl, she swam right along with me. And when I turned back to go the other way, she went down, came back up, and so we spent maybe 10 minutes together. And though I've had those experiences to some degree in the past, having spent 12 years on expedition with my husband, once again, it brought back the wonder of sharing moments with wild creatures. But then on the other hand, my concern was that there are so many people, I think an enlarging amount of tourists that go to the Galapagos each year, and as much as the naturalists and the variety of the boats that take us there try, there's still degradation that happens just from walking even through these islands. And in a way, of course, we are disturbing these animals. So I wonder for how much longer we can continue to actually maintain the wonder that I saw. And as our increasing population grows, there will be more and more and more tourists from a variety of other countries that will be hitting the tourist path to our heritage sites. And the possibility of diminishing these places is very real. And I think that the organizations that are there to protect the Galapagos are really doing a wonderful job. There's a variety of them, and so those of us that go, I think, have to be very cognizant of what we're seeing and the fact that we have this right to see it at the moment. My children, Philippe and Alexandra, are both working very hard with the environment. My son with education, with Earth Echo International, teaching, will be helping young people to educate and work with other young people to understand the necessity of stewardship for this planet. And he has the Global Ocean Initiative that is moving along very nicely. And my daughter Alexandra with her Blue Legacy and the water issues that she has traveled around bringing to us what is really happening with water on our planet, and it is a scary situation. So we all need to take that responsibility for the environment, for the life that we lead, for how we treat the space, and for how we treat each other, and how we treat the creatures that we share this planet with. For now, none of us are here alone. We've all been designed to fit into a space on this planet, and when any one of us is missing, the rest will suffer the consequences of that.